Praise the Lord. I'm happy to meet you all again. This incident happened some 18 years before. We have a farmhouse in our native village. In the middle of paddy fields, my father-in-law has constructed a house and he and his wife, that is my mother-in-law, live there. They cultivate paddy. We used to go there for all our holidays. During daytime, that place will be so beautiful with greenery scenes, good looking paddy fields all around. But during night hours, it will be so dark. We could hardly see small lights, that too very far away. Whenever we go there, my mother in law will ask me whether I have heard the sound of the anklets of their family deity, which will pass by the house every midnight. I have never heard any such sound. She will become disappointed with me and scold me for not having reverence for the family deity. And on a particular day, after completing my daily works, I went to sleep. Usually, I used to sleep in the big hall in front of a room where paddy bags are stored. In that room, there is a big window. When I lie down on the hall, I can see outside through that window. On that day, I was so tired after doing lot of cooking for our guest. I went to sleep at 11:30 p.m. I was not able to sleep and I don't know why. I was turning this side and that side and I was unable to sleep. There is a big clock straight before me on the opposite wall. Sharply at 12 o'clock, I heard a feeble sound that annoyed me a lot. Slowly it became louder and louder. First time I did not mind about that. When I heard that sound again and again, I started to listen it with keen ears. I heard a feeble sound of anklets far away and it became louder after a few minutes and then it slowly fades away. Then I understood that really someone was walking outside, and when it crossed that big window, the anklet sound became louder, and when it crossed the window slowly, the anklet sound became dim again. It returned back on the same path, and the sound will become louder when it crossed that window. Great panic got hold of me. I began to tremble in fear. I turned to the other side and closed my ears tightly with my fingers, but that sound was heard loudly. Whenever the sound is louder, I could feel a ball like thing rising from my belly and fall hard on my chest. It will be like someone pressing hardly on my throat. I will suffocate like anything, and when the sound becomes feeble, my throat will be released slowly and I will be able to breathe. This was a terrific night in my lifetime, and I was sure that I am going to die within few hours. This happened continuously till 3 o'clock. From 12 to 3, I had a very worst experience, and the terror and panic made me lie down still. I was unable to raise my voice and call for help. All the others were sleeping outside the house. After 3, the sound was gone, but I couldn't get up. My body was shivering and I was breathing very hard. I was afraid to tell this experience to the rest of the family members because they believe it was the family deity, and since I don't believe or I don't serve him, all these negative things are happening to me. So I kept that within my heart and I tried to go to our home on the same day. But my husband did not accept to go home immediately. So I was forced to stay there, and I was trembling in fear as the daylight began to fade away. I had to lie down in that same place because my 2-year-old daughter was sleeping in cloth-like cradle, which will be hung in a hanger. I came to bed only late night. I could not sleep. My heart was beating very fast. I thought yesterday somehow I was saved. Today definitely I am going to die. At this moment, I remembered God. This incident happened 18 years back, and I was not that much spiritual as I am today. So I forgot everything about God. But at this point, I remembered God. Then tears began to roll down, and I called Him for help. I started to shout at His name. Moreover, the experience which I got last night made me mad, that I forgot all about God. Sharply at 12 o'clock, I started to hear the anklet sound. With my eyes tightly closed, I shut my both ears with my hands and started to cry out to God. God save me. God, Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are powerful than any worldly spirits. So please come and save me. I remembered a verse, call to me when you are in trouble. I myself will come and protect you. So I shouted that verses within my mind loudly. When I was uttering that verses again and again, when I was pleading God for help, suddenly I heard a audible voice within my mind. That audible voice told me, turn to other side and see through the window. But I began to tremble when I was asked to see what was working outside. How can I do this, Lord? I began to lament. I began to cry. Lord, I'm afraid of that sound. But how can I turn back and see what is going there? But I strongly heard the sound within my mind. Turn and see what is outside. Nearly for an hour I was struggling like this. Suddenly a great courage filled me, and I decided to turn aside to see through that window. When I turned the other side, I was terribly shocked. The scene I saw outside really shook me like anything. I could never forget in my lifetime what I saw outside. It was nearly 2 o'clock midnight, but I saw a bright daylight outside. It was like 7 daylights falling there. It was like as if 100 mercury lamps were lit up. The ground was lifted up to the window level, and I saw all the grasses covered with violet colored sheath. I saw all minute organisms on the ground. I saw the dung roller rolling the dung, and I saw everything on the ground magnified 100 times. My heart was about to stop, and I shouted within my mind, Lord, what is this? Then I heard an answer from my mind, my daughter, do not be afraid. I am standing here. This is my light. Can any darkness walk in this light? I am here to protect you. Sleep in peace. The next moment I fell asleep. After a terrific sleepless night and day, I had a wonderful sleep and woke up at 6:30 a.m. the next morning. Then I remembered that wonderful experience, and with tear-filled eyes I thanked God. But a question arose in my mind, why you should come here to protect a being like me? You could have sent your angels instead. I could not understand this love of God for an unfit person like me. Till today, whenever I see that window, I see that bright light during night hours. I heard no anklet sound after that. In due course, I also realized that God has placed His feet in that area, not only to protect me, but also took that whole area into His custody from all the satanic forces for a future use. Whenever I go there, my heart will sing hymns of praises to Him. In the day of trouble, I called to Him, and God, He Himself came and rescued me from great danger. I give all praises to my God.